Hello, my name is Jeff. This is Castle Tutelage, your home defense network. What I do is I help people understand the law in simple terms and try to boil it down where I give them confidence in negotiating these legal proceedings at a moment's notice, and hopefully I can get that across to you. Okay, there is a lot of comments in my other videos about assaults and what really constitutes an assault. And, the video that you see here is going to be your typical image of what assault is. And I want to this is what we think of what an assault is actually going to be. And this was the knockout punch game that the kids were playing 3 or 4 years ago. And this was a teacher who was assaulted, and this is what many assaults you really think is going to look like. Okay. That's what an assault a lot of people are going to look at. When you're doing the road rage things, okay, I had an incident many years ago now, and I have a video on it where I gave the video and the background to it. I guess I'll give a little background. During between midnight and 2 a.m., a long snowstorm in Minnesota had about between 12 and 18 inches of new snow out there, and it hadn't been cleared off the highways. And when I was on a major highway, I was going a little bit slow, and someone came up behind me, started flashing their lights, that kind of thing. They cut me off, had to stop a couple of times. And the question I had is, when the people got out of the car the second time, what would you do? And there's a lot of things out there. People assume that I got stuck. I never said I got stuck. So they would get out of the car and they would raise their shirt and show the other two guys the gun. Or, you can verbally say, get out of the car, I have a gun, get away from me. That kind of a scenario. And that's where I want to really teach about assaults, okay? Now, it's counterintuitive, and you're always coming from the good guy point of view. Okay, I'm the victim here. Okay, it's not necessarily that you're the victim, but what are the provable facts? What is the narrative that the other side is going to have on you? If there's 3 or 4 guys on their side, they have witnesses and you don't, so the narrative is going to maybe skewed unless you have some other evidence backing it up. When you get out of your car and you're trying to slow them down a little bit. It's all about subjective reasonableness in the other person's arms. Have they really assaulted you? Or just because they're coming after you, have you been assaulted? I want to give the definition of assault a little bit, okay? And this is the Georgia code. And if you look here on the second sentence, commits an act where it places another in reasonable apprehension of immediate receiving a violent injury. Okay, that's all subjective. Okay, let's back up a little bit. You have assault. You've heard the term assault and battery. It's in the crime dramas all the time. Assault and battery. Assault and battery. What's assault and battery? Well, assault is what we told you here. Did the person have a reasonable fear of, or apprehension in this case, of receiving a physical threat of death or great bodily harm or any kind of a threat? And then you have battery. Battery is you can touch the person. You can scrape by them. And when you scrape by them and you touch, that's a battery. Now, don't get caught in the weeds. There's a lot of different phrases, and some states uses degrees. The state of Minnesota, where I am, they use degree. And this, what I say here, is a 5th degree assault in the state of Minnesota. It's just the apprehension. Now, I want to go so you have assaults in degrees. You know what assault is, and you know what a battery is, okay? And that's the 3 definitions that you really need to take a look at. I want to use this. Yes, Dirty Harry. I want to use this video in illustrating apprehension in the other person's mind. It's totally subjective, okay? Now, this is a little bit more of an obvious thing, but I'm trying to give you the idea behind it.
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I kind of lost track myself. But Ian, this is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off. You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, Buck? Hey. I got to know.
Now, I think everybody, we can agree that this is an assault. And it's going to be an aggravated assault because you have a weapon. Now, in the beginning, well, this is, all analysis. I'm trying to get the thought behind it because the person that you're dealing with, let's just say that it is the the road rage incident that I was in. They're not on the ground, they're not bleeding. It didn't already shoot them, but the idea, your mindset, coming up there and trying to scare them with a gun. This is a very typical thing. Is that becomes part of the equation. The people start to run away. Okay, they do get naturally scared. Now, if you don't do anything, if you don't call the cops, you could be arrested for assault. Okay, now you're going to say, "Oh, come on! You're just telling people crap again. You're just trying to get someone killed and get them afraid of doing something." No, I'm not saying that at all. Okay, if you do get an assault charge against you, you're going to have to go through the process of because you exposed your gun because of self-defense, and you have to go through that. I am trying to give you knowledge of not doing something stupid like exposing your gun or whatever else is there. Okay, and this video will give it a little bit better. Yes, again, it's Clint Eastwood, and I'll stop it at the appropriate time.
You making some kind of joke?
Oh, no. You see, I understand you men were just playing around, but the muley just doesn't get it. Of course, if you were to all apologize.
There you go. You just saw it. What did he do? Oh, let me back this up just a little bit. We did it quick. There it goes. Right there, that's assault. Okay. I think it goes to another guy. See this guy's face right here? In the real world of, his face could be, hey, I'm seriously threatened. If Clint Eastwood was pointing a gun at me in a spaghetti western, I would be afraid of him too. So that right there could be an assault. Okay. Now, the simple fact that you have a gun, you expose your gun, that alone could be an aggravated assault. An aggravated assault can happen not just by touching, not by the physical evidence alone, but the subjectively emotional threat of the person that sees the gun. Okay? Sorry, that's what basically an aggravated assault is. And guess what? With aggravated assaults, there are mandatory jail sentences where the judge has no choice but to send you to jail. Some municipalities is 5 years, 1 year, months. It could be several months. It really depends on how many times you've had scrapes with the law. There's a lot of various variables. How's that? There's a lot of various variables for it to be nailed down like that. And again, I want to make this important that if you ever do get into this situation and you threaten them with a gun or something to that effect, you're going to have to explain it to the police department if the criminal is sophisticated enough. And again, the criminal's gone through the system. Okay, they talk to each other in prison. They talk to each other and they know exactly what they can and cannot get away with. And they will use the full force and weight of the federal, state, and local government, municipalities, to get you into trouble. Again, they will use the full weight and force. This is just to help you understand exactly what an assault will do. But again, there is a way out, but you have to have the narrative and the facts supporting you that the reason you exposed your gun or whatever is because of a self-defense claim. Okay, I want to show something else. Okay, is it too far off? Oh no, that was a different video. Never mind. Okay, my name is Caden. Excuse me. My name is Jeff. This is Castle Tutelage, your home defense network. I hope this helped.